The phrases that we used to use to characterize you was Ricardo wants to do whatever Ricardo wants to do. Do you remember that phrase?
Yes.
Do you remember making an agreement that so long as you were inside of your room, that you would be able to do whatever you wanted to do while you were in that room?
Yes.
But when you came out of that room, that you had to follow the rules of the house. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Did you have a problem with that?
No.
No? Okay. Were you taught to always, 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 always tell the truth?
Yes.
Do you remember how young it was begun to teach you that?
No.
No? Do you remember what Yah said to Cain about doing what was right?
No.
Do you recall him saying, if you do what is right, then you'll be accepted?
Yes.
But if you do not do what is right, do you remember what the rest of that was?
No.
No. Have you been studying scripture much?
No.
No. Let's talk a little bit about the lock that was on the door. Do you remember what kind of lock that was on the door?
It was a sliding lock.
It was a sliding lock. Do you recall that it was a chain latch?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do you recall that I ever left the door open with that chain latch on?
Yes.
Yes. Do you remember where the light switch was to your room?
Yes, it was on the outside.
It was on the outside. Where did you come up with the estimate that your room was in the basement for 2 years? How did you arrive at that estimate?
It was just a guess because I didn't know like time and stuff from being in that room.
Okay. How many times have you been asked about the time frame that you were in the room?
A couple times.
A couple times. Okay. Did you discuss with anyone what questions you would be asked today?
Yes.
Okay. What were you told in regards to your parents?
What do you mean?
So when you were gone from home, what were you told in regards to your parents? Where were you told that your parents were?
I was told that y'all were in jail.
Were you told why we were in jail?
Objection, Your Honor.
Pause for a second.
Objection, Your Honor. Not relevant.
I don't understand the relevance of your question at this time, Ms. Wimbush, so I am going to sustain that question and remind you of the parameters that we discussed.
Okay, thank you. Did you discuss with anyone what your answers would be to the questions that you were asked today?
No.
Okay. Are you afraid of your mommy and daddy?
No.
That's a hard question. Do you remember any times that when we talked down in your room that we would cry together or that we would hug together?
Yeah.
Do you remember at all what we might have been talking about at that time?
No.
No. Do you remember your mommy repeatedly asking you about coming back upstairs?
Now that you say that, I can.
You do.
I'm sorry, Ricardo Jr., if you could repeat your response for me, please?
I said, now that you say that, I can.
Thank you.
Do you remember your mommy ever telling you, Ricardo, you can't stay down here forever?
Yes.
You said that you wanted to be upstairs with everybody else playing. Couldn't you have just told mommy and daddy that you wanted to come back upstairs?
I could have.
And you didn't?
No.
I have a question for you about Isaiah. Do you remember the bump on Isaiah's belly?
Yes.
Do you remember it ever hurting him or bothering him?
I don't remember it hurting him or bothering him.
Okay. And you might not remember the answer to this question. Do you remember when that bump came up on his belly?
No.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you so much. I love you, handsome.
Let me-
All right, Mr. Mayfield, redirect.
No, Your Honor.
All right, that will conclude, Mr. Sapella, that is going to conclude this witness's testimony. If you can turn off the video and audio feed at this time for me, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, would this be an appropriate time for the lunch break?
Fine with the state, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this would seem to be an appropriate break in the testimony to take our noon lunch break, so we will be in recess until 1 o'clock. Parking is at a premium, I understand, still today, so I would prefer if you stay in the building. If you leave, I need everyone back ready to resume at 1 o'clock. Report to jury assembly no later than 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Leave your pass and go to the sheriff's police.